Who hasn't found themselves standing under the shower, letting the water run as if it could wash away the sadness of the day? In difficult moments, the most common routine, the shower, can take on new meanings. More than a matter of hygiene, the shower becomes an emotional ritual, a silent pause to reflect, ease the mind, and, in a way, seek comfort. But what's behind this? Why is it that on sad days we spend more time in the shower? Is it just a habit, or is there something deeper? Maybe even biological or psychological. Since ancient times, bathing has not been just an act of hygiene. It has been seen as a ritual of healing, a symbol of rebirth, and a space for spiritual connection. Ancient peoples, such as the Greeks and Romans, turned baths into social and spiritual ceremonies. In Japan, traditional ovaros still represent a moment of introspection and respect for body and mind. In this context, water has always held something sacred. It washes, purifies, soothes, and transforms. That symbolic dimension survives to this day. Even though modern showers have lost their ritualistic character, the intimate and emotional relationship we have with that moment is still alive, and it intensifies on sad days. It's as if, by closing the bathroom door, we open a parenthesis in the world. The sound of water muffles the thoughts. The steam wraps the body like a hug, and for a few minutes, everything outside can wait. Studies in psychology and neuroscience help explain this behavior. In an experiment from Yale University, researchers found that the sensation of physical warmth can symbolically compensate for the absence of emotional warmth, the kind of comfort that usually comes from someone's presence, a hug, a sincere conversation. When those bonds fail or are missing, the body seems to find in warm water a way to self-regulate. Moreover, in states of sadness or loneliness, the brain looks for ways to reduce stress and regain a sense of control. The shower, being a repetitive, sensory, and relatively isolated activity, activates brain areas linked to safety, predictability, and well-being. It's as if it helps us pause the internal storm. And here's our hook. When the soul grows cold, it's the body that seeks warmth. What might seem like just a little extra time under the shower actually carries a universe of meaning. And that's what we begin to explore from here on out. To understand why we seek longer showers on sad days, we need to look at how, throughout life, we've built this intimate relationship with water and with the act of bathing. It all begins in childhood. For many of us, bath time was a moment of comfort. The warm water, the toys, the caring presence of a parent or grandparent. It was a safe, predictable moment when we could relax, play, feel protected. And even as we grow older, something from that emotional memory stays with us. The sound of the water falling, the warmth surrounding the body, the steam fogging up the mirror, all of it activates deep memories of care and safety. As life moves forward, things change. The pace picks up, responsibilities pile on, and bathing often becomes just another item on the to-do list. But it's precisely in moments of pain, frustration, or exhaustion that the shower returns to its emotional role, as if to say, "Here, for a few minutes, you can rest." And it's on difficult days, when the mind is tired, the chest feels tight, or silence grows heavy, that the shower becomes what it once was in childhood, a refuge. It's not uncommon that, in these moments, bathing becomes a space for emotional processing. Head leaned against the cold wall, eyes closed under warm water, and thoughts that flow along with the drops. How many times have we cried in the shower? How often has it been the only space where we could truly feel, without judgment, without rush? This behavior, though it feels personal, is surprisingly collective. Millions of people describe using the shower as a moment of emotional release. In forums, on social media, in academic research, the pattern repeats. When pain arrives, the shower gets longer. And that says a lot about how we transform physical space into symbolic space. There's also the element of control. In a world where we can't control much, sadness, loneliness, grief, failure, the shower offers a small territory where we can. The temperature of the water, how long we stay, which soap we use. It's a subtle but powerful way to reclaim agency over the body when the mind feels like it's falling apart. And beyond that, there's something deeply sensory in this ritual. Warm water calms the nervous system. The steady sound can have an effect similar to white noise, muffling intrusive thoughts, helping the brain slow down. Touching the skin activates tactile receptors that send signals of safety to the brain. It's as if the body is telling the mind, "You're safe now." And this experience forms gradually. It's shaped by accumulated moments, the shower after a day of mourning, the water that soothes the ache of a broken heart, the stream that carries a wave of anxiety, the silent rinse after bad news. These moments are stored, even unconsciously, as emotional memories tied to the act of bathing. That's why, when sadness returns, the body knows where to go. It reaches for what, in other moments, has already offered comfort. So taking a long shower on a sad day isn't a shallow escape. It's an act of deep care, a gesture of humanity toward oneself. It's the body doing what it can to comfort a tired mind. Why is it that something as simple as a shower can become an emotional refuge on difficult days? This question leads us to reflect on how we deal with suffering in today's world, and how often we lack both the space and the language to express it. We live in a culture that values productivity, speed, and performance. In it, sadness is almost seen as a system error. Those who show vulnerability are often viewed as weak, unprepared, or even dramatic. What remains, then, is silence. But the body finds its own ways to scream, or to protect itself. The shower is one of those ways. It's an intimate and safe space where sadness is allowed, where no one asks us for smiles, answers, or efficiency. This behavior challenges a traditional and often superficial view of emotions. The idea that sadness must always be fought, that we must always be okay, that self-care is just skincare and motivational quotes. The long shower on a sad day is, in that sense, a silent act of resistance, a moment of pause in a world of haste, an acknowledgement that being unwell is also human, and that feeling is a right, not a failure. Another important point is that this simple gesture reveals how emotionally intelligent our body is. It doesn't just react to the environment, it seeks healing. The shower as a strategy of emotional self-regulation shows how much wisdom there is in instinct, even in the small rituals of everyday life. And this also leads us to think about how disconnected we are from ourselves. We need a place like the bathroom to be alone with what we feel. What does that say about the way we live, about the lack of emotional care in our relationships, our work, our routine? Finally, there is an even deeper central theme: the search for reconnection. In moments of pain, the shower works as an attempt to reconnect with the body, with the present moment, with something real and tangible. When the world outside feels chaotic, the hot water running down the skin is an anchor. It says, "You are here now," and that is enough. If we take longer showers on sad days, maybe what we're really asking for, in silence, is care, comfort, and pause. And maybe the solution isn't just to stop taking long showers, but to understand what that habit reveals about us. So the first proposal is this: listen to what your body is trying to say. Instead of treating the shower as a distraction or escape, see it as an emotional thermometer. If you're spending more time there, if you feel relief in that space, maybe it's time to look more closely at what's happening inside you. The shower can be a starting point, but it doesn't have to be the only place where sadness is allowed. It's important to create other safe zones in your life. An honest conversation with someone you trust, a moment of writing, time without pressure, comfort without judgment. Because what the shower offers, silence, warmth, presence can and should also exist outside the bathroom. Another proposal is to recognize that self-care is not a luxury, nor vanity, nor selfishness. It's an act of survival. But it doesn't have to come wrapped in promises of instant happiness. Sometimes true care means accepting that you're not okay, letting yourself cry, respecting your own pace. And yes, taking a long shower if that's what helps you in that moment. It's also worth asking, why does the world push us so hard to hide what we feel? Creating spaces, at home, at work, in friendships, where vulnerability isn't seen as weakness but as strength, is a shift that transforms not only our relationship with sadness, but with life itself. Finally, there's a proposal that's less practical, but perhaps the most important. Learn not to rush through pain. Let it exist, without shame, without explanation, because pain, like water, needs a path to flow. If the shower is our refuge today, may it inspire us to create new spaces of comfort outside it, more human, more gentle, more honest.